right now?
Just imagine this. That's what I'm going to say.
What event? This is upload, isn't it?
Imagine 8,000 people seeing your head absolutely crush onto the
no
canvas.
Way. There's no
and
way.
Weller lift his hands up.
Yeah, this is the second video in a row that I'm using the same prop, and the third video total that I've used this boxing glove in. But listen, what is a better prop for one of these videos? It's topical. Maybe if I carried around like a miniature boxing ring on like my shoulder or something, but that's too much work. Anyways, the KSI versus Joe Weller fight was yesterday, and my video released on that topic on the same day was relevant for all of a couple hours, just as I predicted. Haha! I win, but I also lose. I watched it with some people in my Discord server. We all watched the stream on Rabbit, and my Rabbit room ended up trending, and we got on the front page of Rabbit. Not that that would mean much to you, because most of you probably don't even know what Rabbit is. It's basically a thing that like lets you and your friends all watch one video at the same time. When it works, it's good. But back on the topic of the KSI Joe Weller fight, Joe Weller lost, and I wanted him to win. As you would know if you watched yesterday's video, I would say to go watch that one when you're done with this one, but let's be real, there's not really a point. I'm okay with the fact that Joe Weller lost though. I still had a lot of fun watching the fight. I ended up eating like 4 bowls of popcorn just waiting for the fight to start, because it ended up starting like 30 minutes after the time said it would. Oh well, I put on 20 pounds in the last 24 hours. A couple of thoughts that I had during the fight. At the beginning, KSI like didn't have any guard up at all, and it really made me question if he knew what he was doing in this at all, and if he had really prepared. It seemed like he was trying to play kind of like a taunting game to try and bait Joe out, but it looked like Joe had taken control of that situation pretty early on, and then he put KSI on the defensive. KSI turned that shit around though really quick in the second round. He got a lot of good hits on Joe Weller, one after another, and instead of getting on the offensive in return, Joe just kept blocking and taking hits. If I had to guess, I'd assume he was trying to play the long game with JJ, trying to tire him out by just taking the punches and blocking, and trying to outlast him. That clearly didn't work out so well. Joe Weller lost the fight thanks to a TKO, with over 1 million total people watching across the 2 streams, plus the 8,000 people that were watching the fight in person. As a lot of big or even not so big YouTube things tend to do nowadays, like Jake Paul's birthday, or one of Logan Paul's parachutes not opening when he goes skydiving. You know, the important stuff. Joe seemed like a good sport about it at the end after he lost. He accepted that KSI won, and if he was really salty about it, he didn't show it that much. You can see it a little bit though.
So 100% respect. JJ's taking this seriously. He's put in the work. And yeah, that power is lethal. I've taken something much bigger away from this whole experience. I feel like I've grown as a person, being surrounded by my team and my family and my friends. And I didn't get a championship belt, but I've got much more in life, I feel, from this. So I'm still happy.
For me, at least, that speaks a lot to Joe Weller's character. And actually, I think KSI had a lot of good stuff to say at the end when he was saying his piece after the fight.
I want to thank all the friends as well, everyone who helped me out. Faye Sensei, I see you. Oos. Dita, my PT, bro. Thank you, bro. Sarah, she was my nutritionist. Thank you.
JJ could have used his position as a winner as another opportunity to gloat and say about how he was right all along and how much better he was than Joe Weller. And he did a little bit of that because, to be fair, he did pretty much everything he said he was going to do leading up to the fight. Like, he acknowledged that he followed through on his word, but he spent a lot of time thanking the people that helped him get here and supported him in like the 4 months of training. And I actually do have a lot of respect for him, giving props to Joe after all that smack talk throughout last year and up to this fight.
One important thing, listen, Joe, you gave a fucking good fight, excuse my language. You done a good fight. It's YouTube, it's okay, it's okay.
Yo, on the real though. Joe, you're way harder, you're way tougher than I thought. And fair play, bro, respect for it. Respect for you getting in the ring and giving me a tough battle, bro. Yo.
The next thing he said was another thing that I can really respect him for.
I'm gonna be honest, Joe. I don't like you, but I like what you stand for, okay? Mental illness is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen, and I want this event to showcase that anyone who's suffering from mental illness, you are not alone, okay? And you should never, ever, ever give up.
Now, you can't argue that what he's saying comes from a disingenuous place, and I can definitely see why you would think that, mostly because of some other comments he's made in the past in regards to mental health, which I have mentioned in previous videos, namely yesterday's one, which even though it's completely irrelevant, you should still go and watch. But I'm willing to give him a second chance if he earns it, like I said I would give Logan Paul if he earned his. In my opinion, what KSI did was a lot less egregious than what Logan Paul did. I actually think there's a chance that KSI has earnestly changed as a person since he made those comments, from the multiple times he's made comments like those, that is. And like I also said in yesterday's vid, there's a good chance that he's playing the villain thing up as an act. They both hug it out and seem to exchange a few words with each other before leaving, and when they do leave, they seem to do it with some mutual respect for each other.
KSI, Joe Weller, well done, lads.
Two incredible contenders there.
One more time, give a big round of applause.
both boxers, and of course, your winner, the Nightmare, KSI.
I don't think they're friends again because a friendship doesn't really recover from something like that easily, if at all. But still, people talking to each other, it's nice. Let me feel wholesome! They talk and hug some other people in the ring or at the ringside, and after that is when the event ended, or at least when the stream stopped. I don't know if there was anything after that.
Into the ring, he did exactly what he said he would.
JD and all of us here, OP Talent Upload Events, we'd like to wish you a very good weekend, what is left of it. We sincerely hope you have a very, very safe journey home.
Now, in KSI's piece after the fight had ended, when True Jordy came up to him to ask if he had any comments or whatever, there was one thing he said that really interested me. Just take a look.
You said before this fight you had something planned. You said you wanted to call someone out.
Well, obviously, man's got this belt right now. If any YouTuber wants it, you can come get it. Jake Paul, Logan Paul, any of the Pauls, I don't care. Bring it. Same. Yo, if any celebrity wants it, yo, where's Rio? Where's Rio Ferdinand?
KSI just straight up comes out and challenges any other YouTubers, namely the Paul brothers, to come out to fight him if they want to. That shit is forward, bro. Now, KSI has never been particularly friendly with the Paul brothers, at least not while they've been on YouTube, that's for sure. For one, he seemed to be pretty cool with Rice Gum and FaZe Clan and that whole side of YouTube. Hell, somebody from FaZe helped train KSI and they made a documentary about the process. And FaZe Clan seems like they've been at odds with Jake Paul for pretty much all of this year and the better part of last year. Logan Paul not so much, seeing as FaZe Banks has done like collabs with him and stuff. KSI also had a subliminal in his Bazinga diss track aimed at one of the Pauls.
Don't fuck with you or that dumb one Ohio nigga. I took aim and I pulled the trigger.
Presumably Jake Paul, because this was the height of the video craze on him. Logan Paul is a bit more recent though, also presumably because of recent events. It's actually a bit ironic in a sense. Both were caught up in controversy thanks to some form of ignorance or insensitivity towards mental health. I think what both of them did were at very different levels of severity. That's just in my opinion though. KSI had some intentional lines about it in some songs, and also out of them that were clearly meant to be digs at specific people with mental health issues, where Logan Paul put the body of a suicide victim on a vlog that was seen by millions of people, many of which were kids. But there is an interesting debate to be had there in my opinion. Clearly the impact of Logan Paul's actions were much wider, but I think you can make a decent argument that the intentions behind them were far nobler than KSI's. Like I said, KSI's comments were very intentional, at least in the diss tracks they were, and like I said earlier, they're supposed to be digs at certain people that suffer from some form of mental illness. But if the fight yesterday showed me anything, is that there might have been legitimate change within KSI's head, and as a person in regards to mental health over the course leading up to this fight. Like Logan Paul, I hope somewhere along the way he learned and changed as a person to be more aware of these kinds of things, and maybe he's truly had a change of heart about it and he's a little more careful about how he approaches these kinds of topics. Plus, watching the Joe Weller and KSI fight, two YouTubers with a 12 million subscriber difference, the build up in the fight for me at least was so much fun. Now imagine if it's KSI versus Logan Paul or even Jake Paul, the amount of build up there would be for that fight. One YouTuber's fans of millions of young kids versus another's would be super entertaining if you ask me, but could be detrimental to the overall growth of the next generation, so I'm still working on that one. I would prefer that fight to be against Logan Paul because I feel like he would probably be a more apt match for KSI, both in the parallels and the subject matter of their stories and controversies, and also their channel sizes are a lot closer than Jake Paul's and KSI's. Now another suggestion that involves the Pauls and KSI that I find very unlikely was made by Keemstar. He made a tweet saying Jake and Logan Paul versus Comedy Shorts Gamer and KSI. I don't think that's as interesting of a matchup. It would probably be a hell of a lot funnier though. I'm pretty sure that Deji would probably be like 6,000 weight classes too low though to fight with the rest of them. But if Deji actually got in shape for something like that, that would be pretty insane, which is why I don't think it's gonna happen. Let me know what you guys think though. Who did you actually think was going to win this fight, and why did you think they were going to win it? Did the fight actually go how you wanted it to? And if it did, were you disappointed that it wasn't everything it wasn't built up to be? Did it meet your expectations? And if it didn't, are you really salty, or are you happy because you enjoyed the fight anyways? My answer to those are I wanted Joe Weller to win because recently KSI seemed like he was becoming more and more of an asshole, and I really did enjoy his content back in the day, so it was just kind of sad to see him go downhill for me. But he did manage to change my opinion on him a good bit with some of the stuff that he said yesterday. I also thought Joe was going to win because he has more experience in the ring. The fight didn't go how I wanted it to, but that's okay because it was still fun to watch. Plus I got like a banger tweet or two out of it, so that's okay. By the way, follow me at Kwite. God, it's been a while since I did that gag. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Everything in this point on from the video is me plugging things and asking for likes. So if you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. In case you guys didn't know, I have a live podcast that I do every week. It's called Pullover. Get it? Because I wear a pullover hoodie. I usually stream on Fridays at 8 p.m. EST, and the podcast starts a couple minutes after that, so we can give people time to get there. This last Friday, I had I'm Alex on the show. That episode is up on the YouTube channel to watch if you guys want to check it out, as well as all the other episodes that were broadcast. So if you guys want to check that out, be sure to follow me on Twitter so you can get updates on when I'm streaming, because the time and days do change depending on what the guest schedule is, and also mine for that matter. I also have a Discord server. I try and hop in there every now and then, so if you guys want to talk to me for some reason, I don't really know why you would, because I'm not that interesting, but there's a link to that in the description as well. But anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.